I call this meeting of the Fan Ghouls Club to order. I'm Hayley.
Hi, Hayley.
Hey.
I'm Brielle.
Hi, Brielle.
What's up?
I mean, a lot, actually. There's plenty to talk about.
Not much happened.
Not much, this last week. These last 11 chapters. Not much at all.
Welcome to Book Club.
Book Club.
This week, we read chapters 78 through 88.
Mm-hmm.
A lot did happen, but you could tell that this was the last little baby chunk before everything's about to probably suck. So it was nice to have a little bit of a reprieve and kind of a little bit of, we had two wins.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
That was nice to read, but
yeah, I think it was a bittersweet chunk of chapters for sure.
Yeah.
And right, exactly. I think more folks are reuniting, coming together. We finally have some folks in the north, but it may not necessarily be going as
hopefully
successfully as we might have thought. So
yeah.
I'm nervous for what's to come, but first we have to discuss all that we have read.
Yeah.
But first, we have to do our fangirl moments of the week.
Yay. You said you had a couple.
I do have a couple.
What were your couple?
So I don't know if I missed this last week or if the announcement was made after we filmed. So Princess Vivi from Alabasta is going to be played by none other than Charithra Chandran, who played Edwina Sharma on Bridgerton, season 2. And that rumor has been floating around for a while. So
her?
And so I was very hopeful that this was going to happen, but I didn't know if she was going to continue acting or what she was up to. And so it's also one of those shows where folks may be more picky about accepting a role within that world.
Yeah.
I don't know. But, I mean, so far they have a pretty stacked cast. We also have, what's his name from Heroes, playing her father.
From Heroes.
So that's my big one. That and Sabrina Carpenter dropping her new album. Finally, short and sweet.
Short and sweet.
It's such a bop. It's such a bop, and I've been listening to it nonstop.
My fangirl moment of the week was all of the fangirly collab merch things that were announced this past week. So not only did I go pick up some of the Bath and Body Works Stranger Things stuff the other week, but then this week they just also announced there's going to be a Stranger Things and Polly Pocket collab, which is
it's like the things you never knew that you needed.
Insane for me. The amount of Polly Pockets that I had. I cannot wait for that. They're going to be so cute and little.
Yeah, they're going to be really
cute. And then
cute.
also Aerie did a collab with Wicked for the new movie. They just released a bunch of Wicked merch. So it's all, and it's Aerie, so it's all comfy, cozy, cute Wicked stuff. So I haven't decided yet which ones I want because I like all of them.
I know. I wish it was all within budget so that we could buy all of it. It's so cute. And the pajamas.
And the little undies.
Love.
They're so cute.
Yeah.
So all these collabs are killing me.
And there's only more to come, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure.
The Wicked Lego set looks so cute.
There are a few of them. They're so cute. I know. We got to start collecting.
I know.
Couple months.
And Halloween Horror Nights just opened.
Halloween Horror Nights opened. I stayed up most of the night the other night just watching people on live going through houses and try not to spoil things for myself, but it's hard when everything is dark and everyone's just jumping around.
It was still going to be spooked.
I just wanted the vibe of being there, and it was so exciting.
I know. Happy September. It's officially spooky season.
Spooky season. I know. That's the biggest fangirl moment for us of them all. I know. We have to get planning.
All the things to do. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I have a question for you.
What's the question?
Can we wait until we get to this moment in the chapters?
Of course.
No. Because, it's just a random thought I had.
Okay.
I sent you this the other day, but I'm wondering what your thoughts on are. I I am wondering what your thoughts are of the comparison being made to Elide and Lorcan and Rapunzel and Flynn Rider.
I mean, I feel like the main comparison is just that Elide was locked away for most of her life. And Lorcan has like longer brown hair. I mean, yeah, there's some good comparisons, I suppose.
I think it's like the adventure in the woods alone, and then like coming across a bunch of ruffians at times.
Ruffians and thugs.
And you know, her evil uncle literally coming after her, using like creatures and things. Kind of her saving him and him saving her. You know, that whole trope.
Just a much darker environment, I suppose.
Dark romance, Rapunzel and Flynn, maybe.
Yeah.
Because he's like,
But we don't know yet. Does Elide have any magic? Does she have magic hair?
Maybe she does. Maybe that's why people are making comparisons. Maybe we're actually just spoiling all of this for ourselves.
Maybe we're missing something, that we don't know yet.
Maybe.
I cannot tell you how disappointed I will be if nothing happens with Elide.
Well, we're getting down to the nitty gritty here, so.
I know. Okay.
All right. Well,
that is funny, though.
I know. I've been thinking about it. So, because I'm obsessed. I'm obsessed with her.
Because she's young and inexperienced and was locked away in a tower.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, he literally says, "Let me show you."
Stop. That's a whole conversation we're about to have. Okay. Should we dive in?
Yeah, you go first.
I'll go first. I'm ready.
I figured you might want to do this first chapter.
Yeah.
I officially finished this notebook.
Oh, good.
So I'm going to need another one.
I have blank notebooks you could have.
I'm ready.
All right. So now we're going to dive into our chapters. This is chapter 78. We left off in our last chunk of chapters with Dorian retrieving the third word key, but Maeve seemingly caught him in like one of her spider's webs, and her talons like leapt upon his mind. So at this point I'm thinking, okay, like this was a trap set by Maeve and he fell into it. Mm-hmm. And so 78 kicks off and it's just Dorian and Maeve, and she's saying, hurry up with the keys, like we got to go get the other two, and then I'm going to just like do my thing.
She's like, I got plans for you.
I've got plans for you, boy. And he's like, oh, don't you think it's rude to leave without a note? And by distracting her, he kind of retakes claim over her mind. And long story short, he ends up tricking Maeve in the end. He retains all three word keys. He leaves her in Morath and he turns into a wyvern in order to escape without anyone seeing him.
Because like a bunch of the other ones flew off, right?
Because he sees that the other wyverns are flying north. So they're ready to go invade the north. And so he's like, okay, I'll disguise myself as a wyvern, has all three word keys, and leaves Maeve in the dust. He's like, peace out. Isn't going to kill her. But he does do a little like snip of some of her power. And that's pretty much where we leave off. And so Dorian successfully and safely escapes Morath with all three word keys. He totally did it.
Like destroys Morath.
Yeah.
He like crumbles it down. Over those like few days that he was like searching as like a mouse and a cat and different animals. Yes, he was searching for the word key. But over time, he was also going through the entire castle and creating like small cracks with his magic.
Right. And he tells her that.
Yeah.
He's like, that I wasn't just like eavesdropping or like
so then
searching
he said when
for
the
you.
moment came, just like with a snap of his magic, it started crumbling down.
Mm-hmm. He's crazy powerful. Yeah, the way that they have this entire confrontation like within their minds, which was so funny. I can't help but always think about Feyre and Rhys when this happens, because I'm like, it's jarring. It like totally takes me back to those moments between them. And she's like, I'll kill you, not if I kill you first. And, like,
he's like, I got you.
And he's like laughing. He's like totally maniacal and like has her in his like, I mean, how did he outsmart her so cleverly and so powerfully?
I don't understand how he can like so easily learn magic.
Yeah.
Like when he took and learned shifting from Serene. Like, he studied her and how she did it and what her magic felt like, and then could do it.
Is that
and
from,
then that's
like,
how he did with Maeve just now.
Maeve, yeah. I think it's like he's taking these lessons he's learned from all these people, like Kale, and they're like fighting together. Like Selena, what she taught him, and Sorsha, like everything she taught him. Rowan, especially everything he taught him.
He's just a little sponge.
He's just a little sponge, and he's taking Serene, and he's taking all these Manon. Like,
how did he learn like this mental magic in 2 seconds? He studied her.
Yeah, being able to, like, for her, who has like eons old.
We don't even know how old
we don't
she
even know,
is.
Eons old Valg queen.
Yeah.
Who has completely, like, taken a whole part of the world for herself and has convinced that whole part of the world that she was
a third sister.
That she's just like a fairy queen, like, and for Dorian to outsmart her in these few chapters, like a couple days.
I'm sorry. Does he have a single flaw?
No.
There's not, like, sometimes I'm kind of like, okay, there's nothing. Like, how does he?
I don't see how.
It's crazy.
He has no room for flaws.
He's too busy being Dorian Havelvalg.
King Dorian Havelvalg. And I just have to read the quote. I was on a plane when I read this chapter, and I broke down. I literally broke down.
Was it you?
Like, cackling and then crying, and like I had to put the book away because I was totally embarrassing myself. It's when she's saying, "I'm going to kill you." He says, "I'm going to kill you first. You hurt my friend," he said with lethal calm. "It will not be so very difficult to end you for it. Is this the king you wish to be, torturing a helpless female? You're not helpless." He said, "The king I wish to be is the opposite of what you are." And he gave Maeve a smile. "And there is only one witch who will be my queen." And I, like, freaked out. Because it gave me, like, so much reassurance that
he's gonna see her again.
He's gonna do this. He wanted to do this task first, and now maybe he's going to, because we've already seen him bartering with Aelin in his mind of, like, what are we gonna do with these keys? Maybe I have something to live for. Maybe you have something to live for. And I think this is showing, like, his hope that he might actually have a future with Manon. And so I was, like, crying and laughing because it was so, like, cute. And I was like, oh, my God. Best. Anyway.
I like that you hurt my friend. That was, like, such an easy, like, sentence. Yes. But, like, for him to be like, how could you ever think I'd forgive you? You hurt my friend. Like, oh.
And for us to even think in these last few chapters that we knew all along he has always wanted to do things for the betterment of the world, but maybe he actually thought by joining with her that might happen. And I was like, no, but Dorian, he really thinks that. So he does take away her gift to be able to winnow, like, walk between worlds or go through her portals. So that's
that way she can't just appear in Terrasen so quickly.
Yes. Also, like, it's more terrifying, like, imagining her, like, flying in on a wyvern or something, like, horrifying. Her and Erewhon just, like,
You know what's horrifying is that he has, what is that power? He can snip someone's, he just get rid of magic?
Now he can, like, be the avatar and, like, take away someone's bending, like, that kind of thing.
He's gonna start blood bending people, and it's gonna be freaky.
Yeah, how is all this power? Because we've already seen so much of it. How is it going to, like,
I know,
Aelin's, everyone's?
Yeah.
Anyway, crazy.
So
Great.
He flew off. I know.
And I was like, thank God he's out of there finally.
I know.
I thought it was a right amount of Dorian and Morath.
Yeah.
This is good.
Yeah.
A lot of growth there, too. Crazy. So cool. Oh, I also said that I thought, Manon would think this is so hot. That's what I wrote.
Chapter 79. We're back with the Aelin crew. They've been at the Farian Gap. And we start off the chapter jumping into POVs with Yrene and Elide. that they're healing a soldier down. They're not like in the gap. They're down like
under.
right outside of it. Because they are both like, it jumps in the POV of Urine being like, I don't like this place. Like, it's creepy and sad. She keeps getting, she's like her pregnancy sicknesses. And Elide asked the same question that we asked a few weeks ago. Do you remember how we were talking about, I wonder if Irene can heal herself in a way?
Oh, yeah.
And like Elide asked that. She's like, can you just like get rid of your own sickness or something? And I was like, good girl, Elide. Like asking the right questions.
Yeah. Thanks for asking for us.
Thanks for asking. So they have a little conversation about that. And then Irene tells her finally, she says, I can heal your leg if you want me to. And we've been waiting for this conversation, but then I was immediately disappointed when she couldn't just like do it. And she basically told her two options. Both would take quite a while. Either one, they'd have to wait till after this war because it would take like a hot ass minute.
And a lot of her power, yeah.
Then Bort comes to grab Elide because who else did they find in the Farian Gap but Vernon? Aelin asked Bort to go grab Elide because Aelin is leaving the choice to Elide to make the decision on what to do with him. And I said, Elide just roasted the shit out of him. And then, so basically, Elide kind of has one last conversation with him and then walks out. And then Aelin decides, you know what? I know you guys just want to torture it out of him. But Lorcan, I'll let you kill him afterwards as long as you try my way first. So she tries to just barter with him of like, she sets an ale down in front of him like they're just drinking and having a chat. And she's like, let's just talk. So they kind of talk for a little bit. He drops the bomb on them that Maeve showed up at Morith to side with Erewhon. And that's mostly that chapter.
It went from like this nice convo between Elide and Urine.
I know.
To, some big news that they needed to hear. But I was so excited about the possibility of Elide being healed, but I know what was it, the two options were like, so the two roads to Elide's healing are Irene would either have to like completely reconstruct her entire foot, like break everything apart, put it back together, and then Elide would have to let it rest for I think a month or more. And then the other option was to give her just like a salve but the pain would never fully go away. Because arthritis is already setting in and it's too far gone. So it would just be maybe a more potent salve. So and then she gives Elide the choice, obviously. And Elide says, she's like, if we live through this, then we'll talk about it.
There was something I flagged.
Yeah?
Again, because I'm so perplexed by it. When Vernon said, or Aelin said it to him. You tried and failed to win power for yourself, first by stealing it from Elide, then by trying to sell her to Erewhon. So you tried to steal power from her? Like, I feel like there's something I'm missing, or steal power.
In terms of like rank, title.
I got you. Okay, I got it.
By hiding her away.
He was essentially, because her dad died, right?
Her father died, so it would have gone to her, but he hid her away and made off like she was dead.
Thank you. Okay.
Yes.
Damn it. I read it and I was like, wait, what power? What does she have? Tell her.
We're just so.
I was like, is this it?
We're just so wishful that she had, and she does. She does in her own way already. But ooh, Lorcan. Before she goes in to talk to him, he's like, I'm like.
He's like, can we kill him?
Yeah.
Do we kill him yet?
Oh, God. Lorcan's grave face was frozen with rage. You don't need to go in there. Sometimes I wish I'm like, maybe I'll go back and read Empire of Storms again.
I couldn't stand Elide Lorcan.
Yeah, it was hard to follow.
They were just like randomly in a camp, and they were like
traveling.
a part of a circuit. I don't know. There was a lot happening, and I didn't even understand who either of them were yet.
I liked their spicy scene before they met up with Aelin. It wasn't spicy, but it was like they kissed and stuff. And stuff.
I love it.
Anyways, okay, chapter 80. So we're still with Aelin and and Aelin is talking with Vernon still, and he has just thrown her for a loop by saying that Maeve is uniting with Erewhon in this war. She asks Vernon where her army is. Like, is her army with her? And he says no, they've all abandoned her, which, like, cha-ching, like, good job, Aelin. He also ends up telling her that soldiers are marching upon Orinth, and they should be there within a few days. And so now Aelin is starting to feel hopeless and like, oh gosh, we're still so far away from there. So she kind of gets what she needs from him. She now knows where Maeve and Erewhon are, and like knows that the Morath soldiers are marching towards Orinth. And she gets up and she like turns to go. She's gonna leave him in there, and she's gonna let him die in there. And then the last chunk of this chapter is Aelin and Rowan sort of considering their options here, and she tells him the worst of their fears has been confirmed. And the chapter ends with him saying, well, we'll get through this together.
As long as we're together.
As long as we're together. So yeah, stuff we knew, but always fun to like have everybody else get caught up to speed. It's thanks to Dorian that Aelin has this info from Vernon, because when Dorian cosplayed as Vernon, he got him
sent away,
in trouble and sent away. Thanks,
and
Dorian, once again.
Yeesh. I did find it interesting though. She was like, where are the word keys? And he was like, what the fuck are you talking about? So no one knows about the word keys.
Yeah.
Besides, like,
she also learns that the Iron Teeth are heading north, not just the soldiers.
Yes. That's why no one's
That's
at
why
the
she's
Ferrying
like,
Gap. Yeah.
crap. Yeah.
Yeah. Because they'll get there in 2 days.
That was
like,
confirmation that the Ferrying Gap.
And I liked that Aelin pulled the same exact thing that Dorian just did to Maeve. But she said, well, you chained up and locked up my friend, so
I know. That was great.
I'm going to do the same to you.
That was great.
Like, they're always such little twinsies. The two of them.
Yes, they are.
Yeah,
so there's always parallels.
Yeah.
And I think there's a lot of that with multiple characters in Aelin, but the two of them specifically, like especially.
Yeah, they've always like ran like very similar tracks in a way.
The king and queen.
I know. Yeah.
I don't want to know. Can we choose if something happy happens in the next few like chapters? Can we just like call it
and finish?
I don't want to know.
The end.
And it always makes me uneasy when Aelin is so uncertain. She's like when she starts to feel hopeless is like when I feel the most hopeless reading this.
Chapter 81. We are back in the north. We start off with a cute Ren and Adian moment, just reminiscing of like olden times, and then Ren's also like, I would have been so happy to like be here with you if we won. Yes.
That was a nice moment.
They've all completely accepted already that they're not winning. So Ren walks away, and the Adian sees Lysandra. And he asks if he's allowed to go see Evangeline. So they walk together, and he told Evangeline about the night before his very first battle, because he noticed that she's been very nervous and scared and shaking all day. So he wanted to try and comfort her. So he was trying to tell her, the night before my first battle, he was like, I shat my pants all night long. She's like, really?
It's so silly.
Poop is hilarious. But it was just funny seeing, it was just sweet that he just cares about her, and he's like trying to like bring any light to the situation while not trying to deter her from being scared, because
it's reality.
She's gonna be. He's just trying to meet her on her level and like yeah.
It's a nice moment.
So he gave her a nice little inspirational speech, trying to comfort her a bit, and in a way, via his conversation with Evangeline, he's also trying to tell Lysandra, like,
smooth.
Oh my God. You two, like, are my found family. And, like, we have something the Morath soldiers don't, and that's something to fight for and something to live for. And I'm going to go out there and fight tomorrow for this family that I've found.
It's amazing.
Tomorrow I will fight for the new family that I've made. I was destroyed.
Yep.
Then the next morning, I believe, Darrow asked Lysandra if he can talk to her and Evangeline. And so they go into a room. They see all these books and everything. This is all the stuff that he's trying to like hoard and protect no matter what. Like even if more soldiers win and destroy the keep and everything, he just wants to protect all these like ancient books and all of this stuff. And then they also find he has kept a king's flame flower, which we learn is this important flower that grows in Terrasen only when the land feels at peace.
Yeah.
And the last time they grew was in Oran? Who was it?
It only appeared during Orlan's reign.
Yes.
Darrow's lifelong love.
Lifelong love.
Yeah, which is so sweet.
So we see a soft side of him.
Yep.
But yeah.
Yeah, we sure do.
Only single blossoms had been spotted, so rare that their appearance was deemed a sign that the land had blessed whatever ruler sat upon Terrasen's throne. And so they talked about that for a little bit. And then basically Darrow just told Lysandra that he wanted to give Evangeline a task because she was just as important as anyone else there, and she needed, a task during the battle. And then Evangeline was all excited about it and ran away because he was like, I'll give you your own like armor when the battle starts, so you can help be my messenger during the battle. So Evangeline is all excited and runs away, and Lysandra's like, why? What are you doing? And he was like, I may be too old to fight now, but I do remember past wars, and the thing I always remember is those kids' faces and how scared they were and helpless they were. So I just wanted to give her a task, and I just wanted to. So even Lysandra's like, okay, because they haven't seen the side of him before. But it was sweet to see that he like just wanted to help and like keep her busy. And then we move over back to Adian, and the others are standing on the battlements when suddenly they see just like darkness come towards them, and it's like 1,000 wyverns and witches, and they know that all the Iron Teeth have like started to arrive.
Yep.
And Lysandra runs up to Adian, and Lysandra finds him and runs up to Adian and says, what can I do? How can I help? And Adian turns to her and begs her to take Evangeline and run and leave. She says, you're not asking any of the other allies to leave. Why do you want me to leave? And he goes, because I'm not in love with our other allies.
Finally! We get it. We get the I love you. Finally! Thank God.
So then Lysandra he says other stuff. Lysandra starts crying.
As if that's going to get her to go.
She starts crying, and he's saying, please, please just go. So she just grabs his hand and stands there and stares at him instead. And he's like, fuck.
Yeah.
She's going to stay. So then they're like, okay, well, we're not going to make it through this. What do we do? And then someone goes, to the north. And they look to the north, and suddenly other witches and wyverns start arriving.
Yes.
And then suddenly they were all about to start shooting, but Adian called them off because he recognized Abraxas. So Manon and the 13 appear, and they land, and he said he did not see that odd creature that he saw once on that beach back in Empire Storms. He saw the new Croaking Queen with her crown of stars. And then he did look about and see that Dorian was nowhere with them. And she basically told them that she came to honor a debt to Aelin.
Manon says that.
Yes. Yeah. And the quote of just saying, and at last, like, the Crokins returned. So cool.
It's so good.
I know.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, all the Crokins start flying in as well. Yeah, this is a meaty chapter.
Yeah.
A sweet moment to an even sweeter moment to like a low, really low, and then it's exciting.
I know. Yeah.
Yeah, like at the beginning, Ren and Adian really believing this time this is going to be it, but how do we go down like honorably? And yeah, Ren says it would have been an honor to serve in this court with you, which is like, since Heir of Fire, this is all that they have ever wanted. It's so sad. It's so sad. I didn't expect that moment with Evangeline either.
It was really cute.
Because, like, he's busy. Like, he's got all kinds of stuff to do before the battle. And he loves them, obviously. So it's nice for him to take that time out. I'm so excited about the witches arriving and like surrender. Oh, Darrow's like scared of them, and he's all like, "Oh, we're not gonna surrender." And Manon just like smiles and like, "We have come to assure that you don't, mortal." And she claims that it is for a better world, just like Aelin says.
And when Adian goes, "How many?" And he's like looking in the sky, and she goes, "See for yourself."
And then the red cloaks and the swords and the brooms is finally, like, we get that imagery that we have been waiting for.
Adian.
It's so good.
Just his like, "I'm begging you, please, like, just leave."
Yeah. And him confessing his love is just too much to bear.
And he said, "I should have said it every single day."
And Lysandra just cries this entire chapter. She doesn't say anything. I don't think she says anything, really.
When she first runs up, she just says, "What do I do? How can I help?"
Yeah.
But then after that,
she's crying. Face crumpled. Lysandra began to cry. Lysandra. And then I think it's also when Manon says, "We heard your call for aid," Lysandra begins weeping. She just keeps crying.
I love her.
First page of chapter 82 is basically the description of all these Crokins like flying in. There are 5,000 now behind Manon and the 13.
That's insane.
Again, with like, imagine we're in the snowy mountains of Orinth. There's blood battle blood everywhere already. Just sweeping river across, and then like all these red cloaked witches on brooms with their gleaming swords, and then all the wyverns. It's just so good. And they make such an entrance that Morath's soldiers and everyone like halts. They just completely stop advancing. And Manon's like, "You're welcome." And Astrid can sense that the matron, Blackbeak matron, is amongst them. And so they're anticipating yet another great big battle against the witches. But Manon confirms like they'll obviously handle the Iron Teeth fleet that's against them. The 13 are sort of like planning and plotting the night before and coming to an understanding that they're going to have to go against their own essentially tomorrow. But the 13 have a, nice like little sleepover together. It's really sweet. And Manon, there's a part where she's sort of thinking about Dorian, and they're saying, "We've come this far, we're prepared for what tomorrow's going to bring, we're not afraid." And Manon's like, "I'd rather fly with you and die with you tomorrow than like do anything else in the world." And yeah, it's a really nice moment between Manon and her 13. And then we switch to Lysandra and Adian, and like Lysandra, we get this typical like Lysandra can't sleep. She's restless before the night before the battle, and so she gets out of bed and she's like gonna walk down, just like wandering through this giant palace, and comes across like the sitting room, and Adian is standing like brooding in front of the fire, and they end up having a conversation. And I love, they're just very straight up with one another, and they're saying, "Well, we both thought we were going to die today, and well, I'm just trying to think." Lysandra's saying, I don't know what I'm going to do with the information that you gave me, basically. And he's like, "Oh, that I'm in love with you." And she just asks him not to die tomorrow, and then they'll see. That's kind of just been their thing this whole time, is like, let's get through this and then we'll see until tomorrow. And he asks if they survive, if he can have a kiss tomorrow, and it's all very sweet. And that's the chapter. It's just a nice, like, they're all prepared to die, but they still have hope.
These were my first like real tears of the book. I cried. I don't know, for him to like admit in the other chapter that like he's fighting for these two. Yeah. And like that's been his found family now, and like that's what he's gonna try and protect. It's just, I don't know, it's so sad.
It's sweet.
And then they finally come together and like in some capacity are gonna make up in some way, but they're both weary and apprehensive about it because they don't know if they're even gonna make it, and it's but I'm just so happy. It's been way too long. And then they said "We are the 13."
We are
quote.
the 13. From now until the darkness claims us. Yeah, that quote messes me up. I was sobbing during that part.
That part.
That's what I was
And
sobbing.
then my favorite part of this chapter was the jump real quick to Evangeline, and she didn't want to be Darrow's messenger anymore. She wanted to be a witch.
Oh my
and
God.
I wrote, same girl, same.
Literally, that was so iconic and so the most relatable thing that's ever happened in this entire series.
She's like, I don't want to be a messenger. I want to be a witch.
And one of the Crokins actually gave her a cloak, and she was like running around with the cloak. Oh my God, obsessed.
I know.
Yeah, that was like the best
I
moment.
know.
Yay.
A nice quick one. We get chapter 83. We jump back to Dorian. He's been flying and flying as a wyvern.
Yep.
And he's in the woods, so he shifts real quick. And he says he has no time to waste, but he wants to take this moment real quick. And he summons Gavin. And he told him, he's like, bro, I got the third word key. Like, I think this is it.
Mm-hmm.
And he wanted to warn him that he needed to say goodbye to Elena. So how does this work?
Okay.
So why, if he does this sacrifice and they close the gates and everything,
that banishes them because it's closing the gate of Erewhon's world, their world.
everyone's world,
Yeah.
then where will Elena go?
Bye-bye.
She's
sort of like in purgatory. It's like a purgatory thing. Am I saying that right? Like limbo,
yeah.
kind of.
That's why I was like, he said, I wanted to give you a warning to like say your goodbyes to Elena now.
Because that's part of the deal she made, so that she could stay with him in some capacity. She said, I'll give you another one down the line. Like the gods.
Yeah.
This.
Anyway, so
Yeah,
he's
anyway.
being nice and was like saying you can say goodbye to her because then it's going to be donezo.
Yep.
And he said, well, I need to go find Aelin and we'll decide together what to do with this sacrifice.
Oh,
And then he had a nice thought of Sorsha, and he said for the first time her memory didn't sting, but instead it gave him hope of like he wants to do this for her and he wants to make this all worth it for her.
yeah, absolutely.
And then I just wrote Dorian and Gavin are cute because he was like, well, after this happens, will I be able to like seek your counsel and your advice again? And he goes, I really don't know, but I hope so. And I was like, he's kind of made a cute bond with Gavin, and
I know.
it's sad that yet again he's just gonna lose it, you know.
Different than Aylin's relationships with those that she
Yeah.
has talked to, where she's just like,
Hates all of them.
give me the answer.
That's basically it.
Do what I want. Yeah.
As Gavin disappeared, Dorian could have sworn the king bowed back. They're sweet together.
Like,
Everyone respects him, and he's just...
I think he's become such a great little king. And then when he mentions to Gavin, like he makes a promise to take care of Aderlin and make sure that when it's his time, like it's left in good condition, I guess. Great little chapter.
Yeah.
I usually don't like when the elders are summoned because it's kind of boring to me. I'm sorry, it's just true. But this was nice.
Yeah.
Chapter 84. We start this chapter off, and I'm like, immediately like, oh my God, no. Don't foreshadow anything here.
Yeah.
There's no armor for the wyverns, which, like, I guess, obviously, everything's utilized, or there's nothing that's going to fit them. And so Manon's just sort of like, well, we're just gonna go with our wiles and our training, and we should be okay. They are preparing for liftoff here. They're preparing for the battle, and Bronwyn comes up to Manon, and she's got this horn, and she tells the story of this horn that is a tradition, and it's an honor to blow it today to rally all of their people together. And it's like a really nice, like, confirming moment for Manon and Bronwyn and the Crokins and the Iron Teeth, and it's really nice, especially when they're all about to go fight each other.
It's really nice.
Yeah, it's great. Glennis is going to fight, and Manon's like, "Are you sure about that?" And she's like, "Of course."
Glennis, no.
She has a great quote where she says, "All of us who fight here today do so with someone standing invisible behind us." It's really lovely. Everyone has their own little moment. And then we switch to Lysandra, who is getting ready for her own little part of this battle. And she is guided by the Bane to the Florine River. And we can only imagine she's going to shapeshift into something crazy and do something crazy. And they go through these underground tunnels that are hidden from everyone else. Only the people in Orinth know about them. So she's going to do some sort of surprise visit to the soldiers. Then finally, the Crokin witches take to the skies, and they are all finally preparing to fight. Ren is sort of unsure, like, you're really gonna fight against all that? And Adian's like, we don't really have a choice here. And the chapter ends with Adian saying, let's make this a fight worthy of a song.
I love it.
Like a great beast awakening from a deep sleep, Moreth's host began to move.
Ugh.
And that's their signal.
The final stand of the Crokins. Yeah.
Yeah, in such a short amount of time, they're doing this, knowing that they might die in this battle. It's hard. It's wild. That's war, I guess.
So much war.
I always say, Liz, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah, when she dropped into the cold water.
Yeah. What's scary is
sneaky.
She's underneath the ice too, which is so spooky. Rolf's Mycenians are also there, with their fire lances, so everyone's ready to go.
Where's Rolf though? We didn't get anything with him.
He's flirting with Ansel, of course.
Thank God, they're busy. Leave them alone. Oh no.
He's trying to make her feel better because she's been through it.
Chapter 85. We get a Manon POV, and the battle begins. And then it said, at the first spray of blue blood. Oh my God, I can never say blue blood.
Blue blood.
At the first spray of blue blood, some part of her slipped away.
Yeah, that's all sad.
And I wrote, Abraxas is killing it. So basically, one of the plans that they made the night before when all the witches were chatting, Manon flew up with her 13, all the way up, to kind of test the Iron Teeth, to see if any of them would separate from their ranks to try and get the win of destroying the 13, because she knew that'd be too much of a tease for them. So they tried to fly up and away from the others to distract them, and it did work. It did pull some of them away. And then so those are the witches that are now attacking them, and she's fighting. Abraxas is killing it. We jump over to Lysandra. She is a sick-ass white sea dragon.
Amazing. Wouldn't have expected anything less.
So basically, she's hiding under this huge river, and anytime enemy bodies fall into the river, she drags them down to the bottom and pins them to the ground to drown.
Yep.
I was like, okay, Lysandra.
She also makes time to save some friends.
Yeah. She's so thoughtful that way.
Yeah, she is.
And then suddenly, to surprise them too, she slams out of the river and slams her talons and her tail to destroy hordes of Morath soldiers. And they were all stunned. We jump over to Aiden POV. He's ordering from the battlements and the walls. And part of their plan is that they have these giant oiled up boulders. And he orders them to shoot. And the boulders are flying onto the battlefield. And just before they hit the ground, the Mycenians are shooting arrows to light up the boulders. So then when they crash, they just explode.
So cool.
So those are taking out a good amount of soldiers and helping them. But a Valg soldier made its way up to the wall and faces Adian, and he is wearing a collar, and he is about to face off with a Valg prince.
Incredible. The first thing I said about this was I need to see it on a screen.
All of it.
So cool. All the different parts of battle, which is so fun. Imagining the frickin' 13 just V form or however formation, shooting up in the air, and then plummeting, because this is when like Manon smiles and like she and Abraxas just like start plummeting down, and they're imagine them just like slicing.
Yeah, because her plan worked out, and she knew there was gonna be too many of those witches that wanted the
glory of getting them specifically. Yeah, absolutely.
Even though it's not what they were supposed to do, and they were pulling out from their positions to do it, but it helped distract some, so it wasn't such a large unit. It took away some witches.
Yeah, because lest we forget, she mentions it, Manon is the one who like trained them and made all of their formations, so she knows exactly how to like mess with it.
Yeah, so cool.
I know. And yeah, her like, you see her like wicked witch.
I'm wicked.
Come back when she's like smiling at this like finally like fight, like this real big fight.
Lysandra's killing it as always.
I love the white river dragon. It's awesome.
She's like a river dragon, I suppose.
Yeah. It's hilarious. Oh, we also learned that, well, I mean, this is a no-brainer, but Iskra marked Manon, like Iskra's after her. Yeah. Oh, the descriptions here were crazy. Lysandra's of like bodies just like plummeting from the sky because all these witches are dying in the sky, and like she's trying to save some with the red cape. Some of them she can't save. Could you imagine? Holy crap! And like
she's always got such a different task than everyone else.
Yeah. It can be anything.
It's always really interesting to see, like, oh, what are they going to have Lysandra do this time? Or, like, what she decides to do. And, like, what her, she always has such a different perspective.
Exactly. It's cool.
She's always doing something wild.
And, yeah, the description of the river turning from turquoise to black and blue, like, ugh, gross.
Yeah, because all the blood is black and blue and red. And now we got a Valak Prince.
Yeah, and that's where we open 86. We've got Adian up on the city walls, like defending the walls against the Morath soldiers, and a Valak prince has infiltrated their little area there. He imagine him like climbing up over the ladder and like smiling, like he didn't have any armor. He's like, don't need it. So the Valak prince is obviously going to go after Adian. He says Prince Adian's name, and Adian's like he's like, oh, I've got backup over here, but that Mycenaean soldier was dead, and like, so it's really just Adian and this Valak prince, and they start fighting. Adian kind of learns through this fight with the Valak prince that his shield, that was Aelin's father's shield, Ro, it was his shield. It's like something about it is like super powerful against this Valak prince specifically. And so Adian's able to get like a few really good hits in, but unfortunately, ultimately, the Valak prince like sneak attacks with a dagger, and right in Adian's like weak spot, like underneath his armor. Thankfully, Ren comes in with the save, and he fires a fire lance, I think, or an arrow. Ren with the fire lance, at right into the Valak prince's throat, and he just kind of like crumbles into like ash or whatever. And Adian like is able to catch that, see Ren, and say, "I had him," before he passes out. And then we switch over to Evangeline's POV, and she's like running back and forth, delivering messages for Darrow, from Darrow, and like back and forth. But then they get the message that Adian has been injured, and Evangeline is like so distraught. And the end of the chapter is just Evangeline just like realizing that her family is really truly in grave danger in this battle. So, and that's this chapter. Adian, pretty epic fight though.
I'm so proud of him.
Yeah, I love this moment for him that he gets, and it's sort of like a remembering of the fact that he is part Fae, and also like his background and his fighting abilities and all of that.
Yeah, while he was fighting the Valak, he was recalling all of the different men in his life that has helped him train. I wrote that down.
I loved that.
And he was just like recalling all of them and like listing them off, and like, this one taught me this, and this one taught me this, and that. Like, he was like honoring them in that way.
I loved that moment. Only when rereading a little tiny bit to take some notes that I I even realized like what she was saying about the shield.
Yeah.
And that the Valg prince kind of was like taken aback by the shield, and Adian was like, "Oh, weird. What is this all about?" He didn't quite understand. And it was also something that the Valg prince said when...
He said, "Fey bastard."
Yeah, but this was interesting because the Valg prince hissed "Fey bastard," and Adian didn't know what it meant.
Because there was something with that shield, like, I guess the magic in that shield, or the power in the shield, or whatever it is, like, for the Valg at least, must be a known, like...
Oh, I
Fey.
see. The demon's eyes were wide as he took in the shield. It wasn't the fact that he said "Fey bastard" that got
I think he said
Adian.
"Fey bastard" because of something to do with the shield.
Right. That's what I'm realizing now. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting. That works against them.
Does it
it's
have
not
like
magic.
word marks on it or something?
Yeah, maybe.
Alrighty.
Oh my god, I have so many notes on this chapter. It's a long one.
87! We love chapter 87.
We love it.
We jump into an Aelin POV. Mm-hmm. And she is still so concerned because they are just moving too slow. So she apologizes to everyone and their father deep in her soul as she is just like kind of blazing a path for them through the trees and like ruining this land. She feels really bad, but like she's making a bit of a shortcut for them. So they're just trying to get through as fast as possible. And they're also slowly coming up on Endovier. So she's also just like triple
anxious.
Upset.
Mm-hmm.
At nights when they're resting, in between traveling, Rowan has been working on her new tattoos. And it's like in words, but like forms wings on her back.
Yeah.
And it's the story of them.
I love it so much.
Anyway, so that's taking a little bit.
So good.
And then we jump to an Elide POV. And Elide's chilling in her little tent.
So innocently.
And they're talking about, I don't even think like Irene is fully human. Like she's crazy.
Yeah,
like,
Lorcan's like being all jokey.
Yeah, dealing like with all these healings, but she's also pregnant. Like it's crazy. All while Lorcan starts rubbing her foot for her. And he starts rubbing it too good.
Too good. He's
like,
got that eucalyptus.
Yeah, she's like, ooh. So she starts like relaxing and she's like, this feels like really good. Anyway, but then he says the sweetest thing. They're talking about how, she's nervous that if they do survive this war, she is and needs to start coming to terms with that. She's Lady of Paranth.
Yeah.
And what that's going to mean. And like, because now that Vernon's gone, like she truly is.
Yeah.
And
no
she was like, oh my God, I have to like, how do you rebuild a city? I've never rebuilt a city. I don't know. And he was like, me neither. I've only destroyed them. But she was like, will you do it? Like, will you rebuild it with me? He's like, I've only destroyed cities, but I would love to learn to rebuild one with you. And then so she mentions and brings up how he often like will leave the room or get distracted and trying to go like get them food or go do something to give her privacy. But this time she's like, you don't need to leave and give me privacy. She's like, oh, I might need help getting in the bath. And he's like, oh, you need help? And she was like, yeah, I might need some help. I might slip. And he was like, oh, okay. So basically they have a whole conversation. She's so like innocent about it. She's like, I really don't know what to do. He's like, anything you do will be enough. And she goes, show me everything. And then so Lorcan did. And we finally read this iconic line.
Oh.
That was it.
Oh. Wait. For months now, the only like spoiler I have ever seen about this series is everyone coming online and being like, what Lorcan did? What did Lorcan do? What did Lorcan do? And I've been thinking this whole time I've been reading, since knowing Lorcan, I've been like, please don't let him like really betray them.
Yeah.
I've been thinking it's like this whole like very end he does something to like, and maybe that's still true, but now you're saying, and
so Lorcan did,
because I literally also was about to be like, why doesn't she what did he do? And now it all makes sense. Oh my God, I feel so relieved, but I'm still pissed that like she didn't write out the whole scene.
A single thing? What the fuck? You're telling me we get all of Silver Flames? We did not need all of that, and we don't get anything?
Come on. Anyway, sorry. I like totally did not register.
Put that together, really?
Put together that thing that's been circulating. My only little spoiler in this. And this is what they're referencing. No idea. I totally went past that.
It wasn't betrayal or murder or death. It was
the worst. Because now I know, like, in the rest
we
of
don't
this,
get anything.
We don't get anything else. Fine.
No.
Okay. It was still great. Anyway.
So Lorcan did. What did he do? Anyway, so we jumped to more Aelin nightmares. Immediately.
I don't want it.
I was like, Aelin, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
This could have been I'm sorry, not to like shit on her and her experience,
dreams.
but like this whole page and a half could have been.
We've had plenty of Aelin nightmares. I don't need another Aelin nightmare. You know what I do need?
What Lorcan did. Just tell me about the dream.
I don't know. It was just a bad dream.
Yeah.
Then basically the next day they're traveling again. We did get a very nice Aelin and Elide conversation, and Aelin did notice. She was like, she seemed a little perkier than usual.
She always knows.
But it was very sweet because basically they connected over the fact that like they've both been chained and bound in different ways in life, and hidden and captives, and because of their heritage, because of their bloodlines, nothing that had to do with them. So they really connected over that. Kind of just had a nice conversation of like, you know, relating to each other, and then once we're done, if we win this war and we survive, we'll learn how to continue on, and we can do it together.
Yeah.
Sweet. And then look who shows up. In all caps, I wrote Ryvern Dorian.
It's so exciting. This is like the most anticipated reunion for books now.
Gale is here.
But oh my God, this was so exciting because we also didn't know where Dorian was going to end up.
Yeah, where he was going.
We knew he probably wanted to find Aelin, but like also I kind of thought when he saw those wyverns starting to fly north that maybe he'd go straight to
Terrace.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway,
what was so cool is that they don't know that Dorian can shift.
I know, he just
so one, not only does a rogue wyvern appear, and they're like, what is happening? Because they get nervous that like they're about to get ambushed.
Yeah.
But then the wyvern like crashes, and they see a bunch of light, and they're like, what is happening? And then it's just Dorian standing there. They have no idea he can shift. They have no idea where he's been or like what's been up, and then like he just pops up. Like, hey guys.
Yeah, Aelin like gallops like down towards him, and they notice that he also has all 3 word keys.
Big boy did it all by himself.
He did it all by himself.
I know.
This was a great chapter. So much happened.
Could have been better.
I can't believe that. I'm relieved, honestly. I really am. But I now understand what this all means. But right, I'm pissed because I really just
nothing.
Come on, we've already had. Everyone else got one.
I know. Kayla and Irene did it in the wheelchair.
No,
we don't
several.
Get this.
We've had several. Him and the eucalyptus. OMG.
Yeah, he knew what he was doing too.
Yeah. Rowan like redoing her old tattoos but also giving her that new one, and the fact that, I mean, obviously who else would have done it, but Gavriel and Fenris gave Rowan the matching ones.
His one, yeah.
Which is awesome.
They're all just like best friends. I did not realize that I didn't finish taking too many notes for 88.
Oh, yeah.
It just says that. It says chapter 88. Adian began to wake.
Wait, I said aid. Alive. Chapter 88. Adian begins to wake.
Alive.
Adian is alive. He is in the process of being healed by the healers. And yes, thank God he's alive.
Dude, yeah.
He's been out for only an hour, and not much has changed. The Valgs are still like coming up, swarming the walls, and all the witches are in the sky, Croaking and Iron Teeth. It's thinning out a little bit, but not really. And then immediately he looks to the river to check on Lysandra, and like it is just red, just like blood.
But red's not good.
That is not
good.
We
want black or blue.
Exactly. We want Valg or Iron Teeth blood, not red. And so that's his men. And then he luckily sees Lysandra still fighting, but she's covered in blood. And he sees the way that she's fighting and like moving, like her positioning. He starts to realize she knows something that he might not, and something's going wrong, because they now know the way that she has. Any case, Morath has gotten wise to their secret pathways under the tunnels, and so now Adian is like, everyone needs to like get back here. And in that moment, Lysandra's trying to keep people away from that entrance into the tunnels. And so Adian like signals to multiple bands, including the 13, Menon and the 13. He's calling them back to the walls so that they can kind of reconvene and figure out what to do. And I really, like, I'm gonna cry. It's so terrible. I can't do it. And when Menon and so Menon like sees Adian's signal, and she like she's calling the 13 to the walls, like to like retreat and go back to the walls to meet with Adian. And as she's turning, she is fallen out of formation, essentially, gets distracted a tiny bit, and suddenly fuck, this is witch, oh my god, Iskra and her wyvern have like come from underneath, and the wyvern latches on to Abraxas's neck, and that's how we end the chapter. The wyvern closes his jaws around Abraxas's throat, and that's the end of our set of chapters for the week. So that was great.
When I tell you,
we chose wrong in doing 11 chapters.
We've been every time we're like, oh, the 11 chapters so fun. We leave off some like cliffhangers, like this mistake.
And it came so fast. Like there was no lead up to this, because there was no other witch POV in this chapter. It was all Adian realizing he needed to call his comrades back to regroup, and it just like that.
And we like, it's a fact that Iskra's wyvern is like huge, enormous, and Abraxas is like one of the smallest ones.
This is exactly what happened on an episode of House of the Dragon. And when it says Iskra Yellowlegs was already smiling, I want to like, oh my god. Shooting from below, a predator ambushing prey, the massive bull aims right for Abraxas, and it slammed into him.
Baby boy.
Abraxas, roaring in pain, kept in the air, kept flapping, because like he's only out to protect Menon. Like he's gonna like keep going until he makes sure she's safe. He's not. Like, that is too far. It is like, we're not doing that anymore. We're not doing the animal death anymore, you know? There's no way. There's no way. If they can keep the dog alive this long.
Where's Fleetfoot?
If Fleetfoot.
Where is?
If Fleetfoot can live this long, Abraxas ain't going nowhere.
Where is he? She
was.
She's like
she's there, I think.
Isn't she with Nezerin's like farm?
Yes.
Is that wrong?
No, I think you're right.
We better see Fleetfoot at the end of this shit, or I'm going to.
I love that we have seen her here now and again. Yeah, it's great.
The one thing I did flag before everything went to hell in that chapter.
Yes.
Again, Adian's thinking of Gabriel. And it just made me want to cry. And he was like, well, will Gabriel, like, even have cared if I died? Like, would he have heard, and would he have been sad?
I just always think of, Adian is my pride. Is all Gabriel says.
I died when he said that, because he shifts into everyone calls him the lion.
Wow. That's like good.
Pride Rock. and like
Yeah.
Lion King and stuff, you know.
And that's a pride of lions. Is what a group of lions is.
Wow.
Whoa.
He's my pride.
Dang. That goes deep. Deeper than I ever would have expected.
I know, but yeah, he's thinking of Gabriel.
That's sweet.
I think that's all I really flagged.
Yeah.
And then I just cried and my book's wet and we don't have that much left. I don't know.
My heart is like racing. I don't even want to know.
I know.
But I want to read it tonight.
I know.
I'm gonna.
I know, I'm scared.
Anyway, I mean, that's chapters 78 through 88. Yay!
First,
great.
we don't even find out what Lorcan does, and then we get this.
It's just wrong. Like, come on now.
Sweaty.
Fangirl.
Questions
Wait,
of-
Fanghoul?
Fan.
Ghoul questions, right?
Fanghoul questions of the week.
We answer 3 questions every week, and the first one is the Fanghoul pick of the week, or most valuable character / MVC. Then we've got ghoulish gripes, or what bugged us about this set of chapters, and then our fangirl fantasies and what we want to see in the coming chapters.
Hey.
Who is your pick of the week?
Alien.
Yeah, I thought you were going to say that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand, like, the massive hate against him.
I have only seen this recently. Like, I've seen these ratings, like people rating the characters.
Yeah, they see his face and they instantly
immediately
go,
10.
yeah.
I don't know. I mean,
I don't get the massive hate. He has this whole book. He has
bared the brunt.
everything on his shoulder, like
He really has.
everything.
Maybe
He's the one that started the rebellion in the first place, and
I
like
know.
held it like
no, she wouldn't have.
anything.
Yeah.
I don't know, but again, yeah, just planning this whole war and like getting there and instantly. He's just like leading everyone so well, and he's just killing it.
Yeah. And also
then
finding time to be soft with
Evangeline.
Yeah, and Liz.
He finally confessed his love, and it's a big chunk for Adian.
Yeah,
I'm
it
proud
was.
of him.
Lots of growth. We
Yeah.
love when our men in this series
Have growth.
have growth.
Yeah. Who is yours?
I'm going to have to give it to the witches.
Oh.
The Crokins and Manon and the 13 for finally arriving north. I have been waiting for this moment specifically forever.
Yeah.
And I'm starting to regret this wish now because of Abraxas, but I have hope that he's going to be okay.
Well, currently his whole throat is in
The jaws
someone else's
of the
mouth,
bigger wyvern. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, it's something that I've been waiting for, so I have to give it to the witches. All the
Yay.
witches. Yay! What are your ghoulish gripes?
I don't remember. Oh, I said no Ghoul or Sartak.
Womp womp. Hopefully we get some kale.
We're gonna get good Ghoul.
So good crispy kale.
I hope they go the dun 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 dun.
Oh, I do too.
They run into each other's arms in slow motion. And
I
then
can't even
fall to the
picture-
ground crying, and they just start
Kissing?
making out.
Mhm. That would be ideal.
Yeah, great. Irene's like, but also,
Manon would laugh.
the Lorcan shit, and I can't
Yep.
believe you pulled that, Sarah.
Why? I wonder why. I mean, it must be like a tactic. Like, she obviously writes out so many of these scenes. It is exciting to leave some to the imagination a little bit. You know what I mean? I get it. I get it. But I want it.
But it is a good like sentence though. She's like, show me everything. And so Larkin did. Or like,
Just everything. She can't write everything.
what was yours?
Lysandra should have kissed Adian by the fire before the battle.
Because what if one of them dies?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Don't wait. You know, I love that about the relationship. Like, they've always had this, like, we'll stick together and we'll see what happens. Like, as long as we are true to each other, stick by each other, the rest will come. I like that about them. They have that trust with each other and respect, or, you know, I'm thinking about that boat scene.
Yeah, getting their way back there.
Yeah. Finding their way back there is exciting, but, you know, I want some, like, impulsiveness with it, too.
Oh, my God. What are your fangirl fantasies?
Well, I think they're just straight up. Like, it's not even, I can't have fantasies right now because I just need Abraxas to be okay.
Yeah.
So that's number one. And then number two, I will be fantasizing about Kale and Dorian reunion.
Yes, so those are the exact two ones that I wrote too.
Yes.
I just said, dear God, please let him be okay.
Please.
I know. And then the amount of exclamation points. I was like, we're finally going to get this reunion that we've waited for so long. I feel like it's been years.
It has. And it's been
only like a month
couple
for them.
months maybe. Jesus.
Oh my God. Well, I'm so glad we wrote the same ones.
Yeah. I mean,
it's pressing.
There's no time or room for fantasies right now.
Yeah.
It is game time, and we need questions answered. We need reunions to happen. There's like a lot to do. There's a lot to be done. A lot to wrap up, and well, I guess that's it.
I don't want to keep reading. I think this is my moment of like, I can just.
The Braxis?
He's fine. Yeah, but I would like to avoid reading it if he does.
That's true. I feel that. It should have ended with the witches arrived north.
Everyone's happy.
Dorian escaped Morath with the keys. Lorcan did. That's the end.
He did all the
whole series.
Happy ending. Yeah. Like, this doesn't have to do with anything. Nope. Oh, I can't believe we're getting so close.
I'm ready and I'm not. Well, everyone, thank you for joining us this week. So much happened, so much yet to come.
Yeah.
There's a lot, there'll be a lot to discuss and everything, but anyways, for next week, we'll be reading chapters 89 through 99, and we will discuss next Monday. Yay. Thank you.
Thanks, Sarah. This meeting of the Fan Ghouls Club is adjourned.
See you next week.
I don't want to do it.
I know.